Welcome in to Real Deal Sports Talk with me, McAfee. Hey, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl 51 is upon us, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I know at the end of last week's show we had some more technical difficulties, but we will continue to keep it real. We will continue to grind, and we will continue to bring you the sports as Real Deal Sports Talk sees it. And with that being said, welcome in. It is February 5th, 2017. It is Super Bowl 51. It is the Atlanta Falcons versus the New England Patriots in Houston, Texas for this year's league championship game. If you are not excited, if you are not ready to go, if you are upset just because your team is not in it, so you are hating and you are sitting back and not watching the game, well, poo-poo to you. This is the best holiday of the year to me. Some people will disagree and say, no, KP, this is not a holiday. You can't call it that. Holidays are special. Holidays are something everybody does. Holidays have all these different things. I say the Super Bowl meets every requirement to be a holiday. It has celebration. It has people coming together. It has decoration. It has food. It has family involvement. It has going outside and playing games in the yard or in the parking lot. It has heavy travel. It has drunken drivers. At the end of the night, some people are happy, some people are upset and grumpy. It sounds like a holiday to me. As a football fan, as a football lover, I love the Super Bowl. I would love nothing more than for my Detroit Lions to be in this game. They are not, but that does not take away the thrill of the game from me. The Super Bowl is where it's at for me. I love the Super Bowl. It's one of my favorite games of the year. I look forward to it each and every year. And my family knows that's what I'm doing that day. You're welcome to stop by the house. You're welcome to come over, have a libation, watch some of the game. Or, hey, just come over for the pregame. Do what you got to do. Go watch the game somewhere else. You got to make a few stops, whatever. Do you. But today's a great day. It's a great day. We're going to break down the Super Bowl a little bit. We got the fan poll I put out there this week. Some great results coming in on that, on which is your favorite, most exciting Super Bowl. Some vote. And, it was hard. It was hard to build that poll because as I went through the list of all the Super Bowls, I decided, I'm going to leave off the ones from before I can remember, okay? That left off some very exciting Super Bowls. Then, just in what I left of the ones I can remember, dating back to the late 80s, I still had to leave some great Super Bowls off the list. So I went with 5 or 6 of them. We got some good results. One overwhelmingly was the winner, and we'll get to that as well. We're going to talk about all the award winners last night at the NFL Honors. No real big surprises there. Good stuff all around. And, of course, I got to talk about my man, former Colts punter Pat McAfee, as he retired this week and what he did with his first day out of the NFL. But let's start with the fan poll, shall we? The fan poll, we'll get to that first. So in this fan poll, it was real simple. What's your favorite or most exciting Super Bowl of all time? Comment if it's not one of the ones on this list. Now, I didn't get a lot of comments this week. Last week, a lot of conversation about the poll. Sparked a lot of interest. A lot of people had something to say. This week, I must have, hit some of the topics a little better or hit, some of the games. People were like, oh, yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Because we only got one comment, and it mentioned Super Bowl 48 there with the Broncos and Seahawks. And the guy mentioned that it was an exciting Super Bowl, even though it was over in the first 8 minutes or something like that. Which is true. That game was over. You knew after that first snap went through the end zone that game was done. Seahawks had it won at that point, in my opinion. I called it. You can ask my wife if you ever run into her. I said, that's it. They just lost the Super Bowl. That's the game. They're not coming back from that. Everybody is shell-shocked right now. And sure enough, Seattle went and put a licking on them. All right, here's the Super Bowls that I included in this week's fan poll. We had Super Bowl 25 with the Giants and the Bills. Giants winning 20-19. We had Super Bowl 29, or 25, for the Bills and Giants. 29 for the 49ers and Chargers, with the 49ers winning 49-26. We had included Super Bowl 32 with the Denver Broncos and Green Bay Packers. Broncos winning that one 31-24. I included Super Bowl 34, the Rams at St. Louis at the time, against the Tennessee Titans, the Rams winning that one 23-16. And then I also included Super Bowl 43, the Steelers versus the Cardinals, with the Steelers winning that one 27-23. Now, as the results broke down, you guys can probably imagine what out of those 5 probably won. Probably got the highest rating in the fan poll. Highest percentage of the vote came in. And that is Super Bowl 43, the Steelers and the Cardinals. That was an amazing Super Bowl. You had James Harrison's interception return before half. You had what Larry Fitzgerald was doing. You had the Santonio Holmes on that last drive just being so connected with Ben Roethlisberger. The toe-tapping touch down in the end zone. All the things that went into that game that made it so close. Arizona's push at the end that almost got them in position to have a chance in the final seconds. Great game. And it took 71% of this week's fan poll vote, overwhelmingly in first place on that one. And I told you only one comment came in. So out of the rest of these, and this could be, just due to the age of the people who voted this time around, because the percentages definitely get smaller the further you go back. So that could show that maybe this week's pollsters don't quite remember some of the games that I included. So it pretty much goes back from there. Super Bowl 34 got 13% of the vote with the Rams and the Titans. Super Bowl 32 was a very exciting game. You had the Elway helicopter. You had Terrell Davis getting a headache. You had big plays on defense, big hits to shut it down. Green Bay driving at the end. You had turnovers. Brett Favre, John Elway, only ended up with 8% of the vote this time. San Francisco and San Diego came in at 5% of the vote. And remember, that was a very exciting game just to see Steve Young and Ricky Waters and Jerry Rice. And Jerry Rice separated his shoulder, came back into the game after that, scored another touchdown, had like almost 200-yard receiving in that game. And then, of course, the last one on the list, Super Bowl 25 getting 3% of the vote, the Giants and the Bills. That was a great game, if you can remember it. It was a defensive game. It came down to the kick at the end. Everybody at the edge of their seat thinking, oh, Buffalo's winning the Super Bowl. Wide right. So those were the games. That's how it broke down. Very surprised to see that 71% of the vote did go to that one, Super Bowl 43. It was a great game. A lot of people remember it. Thanks for all the votes this week. We'll definitely have another fan vote next week. Maybe something to do with Super Bowl wrap-up, season wrap-up, what you're looking forward to in the off-season. Maybe something along those lines. We'll have to see how it plays out. All right. I'm going to talk about Pat McAfee real quick. If you guys don't know, this is a fun-loving punter. This is a guy it seems like everybody would want to play with. Like, he's out there having fun. The NFL did nothing but try and drug test this guy all season long. He's a great punter, kicked it real far every time. Great on coverage. He had his struts. He had his Razor Ramon dance. He was out there doing his thing all season long, having fun, talking to the media, not being the typical punter, along the same lines as Marquette King and guys like that have a little swag to their game in the punter position. And he has decided this week to go ahead and retire from the NFL. Talked about how bad his knees hurt after kicking and being iced up all the time, and just looking forward to other opportunities that he's going to have in life. He's going to do this Barstool Sports. He's going to be able to do some radio, some TV, have his own affiliate there in his hometown where he's living at. So that's great. He's going to be able to move right into the next phase of his life. He's going to be healthy. He's going to be able to spend time with the family and not have any issues as far as that goes. You can't fault the man. Now, am I going to miss him out there having some fun as a punter? Sure. He brought something else to the game that you just don't see out of the punter position. And he was a good punter. But he's not going away. We're still going to get his sound bites, I'm sure. And right after he announced his retirement, what did we get? We got a nice little story about him taking Adderall and what it felt like for him, and how he could understand why it's banned, because it really would help him perform better. So I expect to see a lot more stuff like that from Mr. McAfee, especially with the way the league came after him with all the drug tests that he had to do for them. I think he had 8 or 9 drug tests throughout the season as a punter. That's right up there with James Harrison, so it's a little silly. Wish you all the best as you move forward there in your next phase of your career, Mr. McAfee. Look forward to seeing you as part of the media circus that covers the NFL, and what your take is, and how many more of these little experiments you might go ahead and divulge into, with the Adderall being the first. And let us know your opinion as to why it would be a yes or no for the NFL to continue banning or not banning certain substances. So look forward to it. I think it's going to be good. I think he'll be extremely successful in that part of his life moving forward. All right, last night was the big night. Everybody was looking forward to it. Who's going to win this award? Who's going to win that award? We got our answers last night. If you didn't watch it live, we got the answers for you right now. It's out there on our Facebook page. You can check, all the major outlets as well, as they have it for sure. But definitely check us out on Facebook, Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. We're out there on Twitter, Real Deal KVP. So we can try and avoid some of the problems we've been having the last few weeks as far as technology. We do have a GoFundMe. We are up to a gracious $460 that has been donated so far to Real Deal Sports Talk, so we can keep this thing going and get some better equipment, so we don't have problems like we did last week, where about 5 minutes of the show just cut out and did not work. So that being said, Twitter, Facebook, we're out there on Google+. Check out that community. Join it up. Share your feelings, share your thoughts, tear us down, build us up. Let's make it all come together. That's real. It's Real Deal Sports Talk. All right, back to the honors. Great show last night. I tuned in at various points. I had other stuff I was trying to take care of yesterday, getting ready for, of course, today, Super Bowl Sunday. But let's just go through the list. We'll talk about it a little bit. Also, last night announced was this year's Hall of Fame class. We'll talk about that. Let's get into it. FedEx Air and Ground Players of the Year. Quarterback, Matt Ryan, Atlanta Falcons. Running back, Ezekiel Elliott, Dallas Cowboys. You can't argue with that. Ezekiel Elliott put on one great show as a pure runner this year as a rookie. I personally would have given it to Mr. Johnson down there in Arizona. He didn't have as many rushing yards, but he had more combined yards. He had more yards per carry. He had more touchdowns, and he did his thing. But you can't argue with what Ezekiel Elliott was able to do behind that line down there. And, of course, Matt Ryan through the air this year was amazing. 117 quarterback rating, the touchdowns, low interception. So good for both of those guys right there. AP, Offensive Rookie of the Year. You can't argue with this either, because Dak Prescott, what he was able to accomplish was a little more impressive to me than what Ezekiel Elliott was able to accomplish as a running back behind that offensive line. A good running back, no matter if you're a rookie behind that offensive line, you would have had a successful season. It's hard for a rookie quarterback to step in with the poise, not have the turnovers in the big moments that Dak Prescott was able to pull off this season. So congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys, as they have a promising future there with some young talent that is really pulling their weight right now. AP Offensive Player of the Year presented by Microsoft. Matt Ryan, Atlanta Falcons. So he's cleaning up in the award show early, and he deservingly so. What he did offensively with Kyle Shanahan, with those weapons there, it was amazing. It was really special to see all season long as a football fan. And